a long time ago, a guy wanted a bird as a present, and it was his birthday coming up. He put the bird cage in his kitchen 2 weeks before his birthday, and his family said, "What's the bird cage for?" "Well, I don't know." Next morning he comes in, he's whistling. We're like, "Oh, okay, they bought him a bird on his birthday." He comes in, the bird's in the bird cage, and it's like, wow. So we do bird caging, we know what everybody's goals are. Our culture at our company is, this is a job. Come in, work the amount that it takes to be successful, but when you're not working, go live your life. It's not all about how much money you make and what our financial statement is. It's going to be good because we're going to do the right things, but you don't have people at our company, aside from probably myself and one other person, that are obsessed with work. I want you to have a life outside of Speakercraft that's more important than Speakercraft, and we talk about it openly and up front. So our culture is that you're stoked when you come to work. You're happy to do what we do. Tactical domination, okay? Tactics. We talk about the difference between tactics and strategy. And when we talk about tactics, we sit down and just like you would in war room, we outline the tactics. So everybody in the company and upper management has read The Art of War. We sit down, we talk about exact tactics, and we want to tactically dominate our competition. Most people don't spend enough time on the tactics, on the little things that they need to do repetitively to succeed. We go to work for financial profit, obviously. But the other reason we go to work is emotional profit. If you're not leaving the company at the end of the day smiling, excited, or if you're not excited when you come in, you're probably working at the wrong place. Now that sounds really harsh, but if we don't see smiles, we don't see people interacting and excited to be with each other, something's wrong with our company. We've got a culture problem. But that doesn't happen because we address it first through things like, if it's the holidays, you're going to get a Christmas tree, and if it's Halloween, we're going to have dress-up parties, and if it's birthdays, you're going to have your area decorated for your birthday, and once a month, we're going to give you a book to read, and if you read the book, you're part of the book club, and you get a financial reward. I mean, we do a lot of things to keep employees engaged so they love their job. We have to sign the right dealers. He was the right dealer, he did business with us, but in every market, we had to have the right dealer, and we look at the whole world as a map, and we say, okay, who do we have in South Africa? I was just in South Africa. You know, in Durban I need somebody, in Cape Town I need somebody, in the capital of South Africa, which is what? Johannesburg I need somebody. And then you know what I found out? There's this thing called the World Cup coming up 2 years ago, and I can do all those stadiums and put our speakers in those stadiums. I came back and told all my business partners about the World Cup in football, and they're like, "Oh, nobody's into soccer." I said, "No, we can sell thousands of speakers per stadium." So you've got to look for opportunity wherever it exists. We believe in absolute dealer satisfaction. That's our deal. I believe that whatever we do, we have to make you happy. And if we don't, we have a big problem. Now, there's companies that exist that don't believe in that, and that's okay. If your company doesn't want to believe in that, that's fine. But you have to know who you are, and you have to pick your niche and rule your niche. I believe in life that you have to constantly improve. So if I'm going to get my butt up in the morning and go to the gym and ride the stationary bike, I'm not going to ride it for 30 minutes today and ride it for 30 minutes tomorrow and 30 minutes the next day. Or lift a weight, I'm not continually lift more weight. I look at your business like that too. If you can make X amount of phone calls today, how many phone calls can you make tomorrow? How much better can you get at each task that you do, and how do you measure yourself? And I believe everything has to be measurable. If it's not measurable, you can't grade it. If you can't grade it, you can't improve it. If there's a problem, fix it. Play the game and win. Dr. Seuss said something that's really stuck with me my entire life. And it's in Oh, the Places You'll Go. And there's a saying in the book that I've kept in the back of my head and I recite every day. And it's, life is a game that you play, a game that you can't win because you play it against you. Okay? You play life against yourself. Most people don't know that. Okay? You think that you're playing against imaginary Joneses, neighbors, or, you know, but life's really a game against you and what you want for yourself and your friends and your family. You can outline it, write it down, and you can achieve it. For us, it's fun or it's wrong. I believe that mediocrity sucks. Okay? I got this one from a friend of mine in a band called the Red Hot Chili Peppers named Anthony Kiedis. And he was a heroin addict. And he said to his buddies in a song, if you see me getting high, knock me down. Okay? He was admitting he was mediocre and he needed help from everybody else around him. And the last one, triangulation's not welcome here. Now this sounds very communist, but it's not. We don't want two people to talk about a third person. Okay? If you have a problem, what's your name again? Kay, and what's your name? Kay and Marjorie have a problem with, it's going to be you. What's your name, sir? Scott. If Kay and Marjorie have a problem with Scott, they have to pull Scott in. Kay and Marjorie, we don't want you talking about Scott. So that's called triangulation in our company. When we introduced this rule 2.5 years ago, people looked at us like we were absolutely crazy. And then what happened a couple months later, as we talked about it, communication got better. Interdepartment communication, people started talking, getting along better, and we had a better company because of it. So those are the basic rules that we live by. Every decision can come back to one of these rules. Some quick leadership secrets. Be true to yourself. Real easy. Live without regrets. Okay, if you have a question of if something fits you or doesn't fit you, go back to who are you, what are your goals in life, and does this fit with your moral compass and what you want to accomplish? I believe that if you become kindness, love, and friendship, there isn't anything that you can't accomplish. Now, to me, it doesn't matter. I've been on 6 continents, and I've been around almost every major religion, and I don't care if you're Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Christian, Catholic, or other, people are inherently good. Okay? People aren't bad. And I believe that you have to find the good in people, and you search for it. And when you find it, bring it out, talk about it, and figure out how you can use the good to accomplish more. Most people are looking for the bad. Most people are looking for the differences and talking about exploiting the differences. I own a small coffee shop on Riverside. I was in our coffee shop yesterday, and we have a Thai shop next to us. And a pretty good-looking business guy walked in his suit, and I'm not judging the guy, but he looked like he was together. He walked in, he said, "Can you believe these people next door? They're worshiping false idols. There's a Buddha in there." And I turned around and I looked at him, and the first thing that came to mind is I was going to start to recite the Constitution. I said, "No, that doesn't make sense." I asked him, "What makes you say that?" He said, "Well, I was in church on Sunday and we were talking about false idols." I said, "Oh, cool. Well, welcome to our coffee shop. We believe in every religion. And if you'd like a cup of coffee, it's $1.75. You know, and he looked at me like I was crazy and turned around and walked out. I don't know who was crazy, me or him, but you know, if you become kindness, love, and friendship, and you put it out there, it works. I believe that you have to live in the moment. Okay, we heard a whole lot about this with Tiger Woods, and America loves to see people fall from grace. And a year ago, when Tiger had his problems, you know, it's almost a year ago Thanksgiving, he fell down, and we watched it, and it was a really sad thing. But if you talk about living in the moment, I think that he brought that to light more than anybody in modern times, and it was because he was a Buddhist, and the way that he was raised with his mother, and he learned how to live in the moment. As Americans, we have so much going on in our heads, and more than any other culture that I've been lucky enough to visit or be part of, we're really busy, but we create our own busyness. You know, I have my iPhone here, and I return a couple hundred emails a day, you know, 40 or 50 texts, plus all the other stuff that I have to do. And we have all this stuff that's going on. But you know what? Every morning, I take 30 minutes out after I work out to sit on a rock above my koi pond and breathe. So between 6 and 6:30, I'm not doing anything besides breathing. I'm not thinking. The goal is to not think. It's just to sit there and enjoy the moment and live and be and try and clear my mind. And you can study a lot about this. If you just write, you know, live in the moment or be in the moment, you do some research on it, you'll find that there's great things that you can do when you're not really thinking. I believe that you have to give more than you take to be a great leader. And now we're going to talk about clarifying your vision as a leader. If you have these things written down and you have answers next to them, you're well on your way to achieving more than most. The first one, what do you want financially? Okay? We all seem to think about financial first. What do you want physically? Okay, America, I just read it yesterday, 42% of Americans are obese. Okay, what do we want physically? What do we want emotionally? Okay, what kind of spirits do we want to be in? What do we want spiritually? What do you want intellectually? I think it boils down to those 5 things. As a leader, if you know what you want each one of those things, if you know what the people that you're dealing with want, and you help them get those things, what are we missing? Is there anything else that we should add to the list? Okay, so yes?
Let me put a simple question to water next to each one of those.
I agree 100%. If you ask, yes, please.
I'm wondering about relationships. I guess I'd be in all of them.
I think in each one of them you have different types of relationships. Yeah. I put financial at the top because it's real easy to talk about. If you ask Americans, what do you want? Most people say, I want $1 million. What would you do with it?
Spend it.
You don't. I can tell you that you don't. I mean, you don't spend it, you invest it, and you work on getting the next million, and then the next million, and the next million. Unless you win the lottery, then you spend it within, I think it's 48 months. But, okay, so really ask yourself these questions seriously, and it's interesting how much you change, your job. Are we just working to get a paycheck, or are we working because we love it and make a change in the world? Be serious about now. Really look at where you are. Okay, where are each one of us right now? Okay, not just here in this restaurant, this moment, but where are we in our lives? Where are we on the chart? And what I like to do is I like to multiply. There's 365 days in a year. If the average age of an American male is what before we die? I think it's 71 for men. Yeah, 71. Okay, 365. If I'm 37 years old, 71 minus 37 is 4. I've got 44 years left. That's 365. So I've got what? 140,000 days left on this earth. What do I want to accomplish? And that's a good way to look at your life. Where am I right now? What am I going to do in the rest of those days? How does it feel? I'm a skydiver. I jump out of airplanes. I jump from 12,500 feet all the time. And I had my parachute not open. I was 600 feet from the ground, falling, getting ready to die, and my parachute's not open. And I pull my reserve, and a parachute comes out, and I coast down, and I land. And I say, wow, I almost just died. That was bizarre. You've got everything in your head. You're going crazy. I go to my car. I call my son, Cody. I almost just died. And Cody and I just got back from a yoga and meditation retreat in Costa Rica. And Cody said, how do you feel, Dad? I said, I feel good. He goes, then pack your chute, go back up and jump again. And nobody ever jumps the same day that they have a reserve ride. And I went back up and I jumped again. And you're almost dying every time you jump out of the plane. But it's a great analogy for life, I think. Because when you get to that door and you jump out, if you're not living the way that you want to live, fix it. Because there could be an accident that happens. The freak is very simple. In being serious about now, where are we? How does it feel? What can we do? Pay attention. Listen to your body. Okay? Our bodies can tell us inherently how we feel, where we're best. I like to use the third eye outside of myself and look at myself and how I act and what I do. And what is it that I'm doing, not just from my point of view, but from your point of view? How am I affecting you, or you, or you? And when I say that, what I really want to learn about myself is how can I be better? And if I get better, then you get better, and then what happens? We all grow. And look at your own energy. Okay? They say that energy levels in the United States are at the lowest level they've been in years. How is it that we're taking in more calories, which are energy, we weigh more, we're bigger, and our energy is less? What's going on? Okay, people don't have jobs, they get depressed.
Because they have to carry all those calories, that's why.
They have to carry the calories?
It's making them tired.
I think that, it is a bummer what's going on in the economy. But I think if we look at ourselves individually, and if we make our own objective reality on what we want to accomplish, and if you look at physical and emotional and financial and relationships, and you're doing the things that are going to make you happy, and it's a fact that a person that's working out and burning calories and a little bit hungry is more effective than a person that isn't, then your energy's going to be higher. I ask myself, where's my energy best and why? If Lee had asked me to do this at 7 a.m. on a Friday morning, I would have said no. I won't present before noon. I can't stand it. And I've had hundreds of people from corporate headquarters at Best Buy to, Onkyo in Japan, where I won't do a meeting before noon because that's not when I want to be on. Now that sounds very arrogant, but I'll tell you, if you listen to me present before noon and you listen to me present after, it's a huge difference. So, you have to know when to say no. We must choose results. Growth is what we do. In our company, we grew the company very fast, sold it, we made a lot of money so we don't have to worry about money. But you know what? You're always worried about money. You're always worried about the next quarter if you're in a public company, and you're always worried about how you're going to grow, and it's a never-ending game. But you have to realize that you control the game and how much pressure you actually put on yourself. And let's just look at what's one of the most successful companies in America right now. Google?
Apple.
Okay, Google and Apple. Okay, the presidents of both of those companies, Sergey and Steve, both of those presidents don't care about money. If you show up at Google in a car that's worth more than $100,000, they're going to laugh you out of the parking lot.